What's up, everybody? Welcome. YourFearlessChoice.com daily hit and run show. Pete Cole here today, running solo, but welcome. It's a Friday, huge slate tonight. So anybody that's here live, thank you for jumping in, throwing your chats right away. We can chat. We can walk through this because it's huge. It's a 14-game slate on DraftKings and Yahoo. But once again, YourFearlessChoice.com, $25 a month, includes all sports. It also includes props in our new props chart that's been out. My man YFC Tart, Mark, has been actually rocking this PrizePicks chart. They've been on a pretty good string of runs. Also, we have a lot of our other subs in there posting props. So he's got a really cool strikeout chart that's been on fire. So thank you for that. We've been crushing over here, especially I'm seeing a lot of esports back again. So our guys are doing esports. I'm seeing a lot of PrizePicks wins, especially yesterday with the Strider, Cease, Mark Leader Jr. unders. So some good stuff there. But we're in that lull right now. We're in the this is MLB time. Second week of July? So it's pretty much all MLB to football season next month. College football is my thing. So any of you guys that are college football fans that have been with us for a while knows your Fields Choice brings college football. Doing live streams, same as MLB. We usually rock that. Then we got NFL going, all that kind of stuff. So but almost off was MLB today. We're here for MLB DFS. Said huge slate tonight. What's up, Big E, on the other side of the glass? Just trying to get through this. I spent some time this morning trying to go through the slate. There's just way too many pitchers and batters in these games. We're going to try to break it down a little bit. Try to contain some of these teams because you go out of your mind trying to fit all these guys in different lineups and stacks. But last night was good. Last night, good GVP night actually. Cash is a little bit iffy. I made one Mookie Betts out of my cash lineup at the end. Kind of screwed my cash up. I went to Tio Hernandez. Even though I thought Tio was in a great spot, Mookie's had a big game. So, but that's the good thing about DFS. We can move on, right? We move on to the next day, forget about yesterday, and it's going to be a good weekend, a good baseball weekend in July, and it all starts tonight. So, weather. There's not much weather tonight. I just pulled it up a second ago, and I'm seeing there's like no kind of postponement risk or anything like that. We do have a little bit, obviously a little bit of rain. The early game, if you're playing the early game, the Rays Reds definitely has rain risk. That's not on the main slate. Beside that, though, a little bit in Truist Park, the Braves game. Seems like that's been like that every night now. With that heat, but 37%. That's that game, and then Phillies Cardinals at Busch Stadium, 68% chance. No, 66%. Oh my God, 28% chance of rain. So no games are going to be affected, but possibly the Nationals at Braves. That's a Charlie Morton game. I'm kind of like Charlie Morton today. All right, so don't worry about weather. Now Vegas implied runs right now. At 10 a.m. Eastern time, the Braves have the highest implied runs per Vegas, 5.7 runs against Washington. Because Eric Fetty's pitching. Eric Fetty to me is a gas can. Probably be over the Braves again tonight. The Braves won me money last night. Playing Michael Harris. The second was a big call, and who else? I think it was Dansby. A couple Braves had decent games, even though overall the Braves didn't come through. But if you picked the right Braves last night, you did well. So we got the Braves at 5.7. Then the Yankees 5.3 and Fenway. Cortez going that game. Walker is not going. So Walker's going on an IL with a dead arm. Yankees 5.3. Then the Dodgers 5.3 at Dodger Stadium. So only 3 teams out of a 14-game slate. Only 3 teams tonight above 5 runs. Dodgers, Yankees, Braves. So they're going to be the 3 popular stacks. That's not much when you have a big slate like this. Over-unders, at least we get a weekend without Coors. I think they start back up again in Coors next week. Over-unders, Yankees, Red Sox, 9.5. And then Washington, Atlanta, 9. Everybody else right now, what I see is under 9 runs. Wow. That's not much for a big slate like this. On the money line, Braves minus 255 favorite. Once again, I said it was Charlie Morton game. The Dodgers minus 223. Tyler Anderson game, and then Milwaukee minus 215. The kid Andy Ashby's pitching. 3 games minus 200. Brewers, Dodgers, Braves. So kind of a strange slate for a big slate. Okay, that's Vegas. We got weather out of the way. Once again, you guys are watching, throw some comments in there. I know we get a lot of views during the day, but hopefully we get some people live here. If I'm wrong, tell me. If you think I'm wrong, think I'm right, tell me. Whatever. I do have a little bit of ownership that's come about for tonight, but once again, it's early, so the ownership we're talking about could definitely go either way. But at least this gives us some kind of a base as we move through the plays. So let's get right into pitching here. And right now, so if we're going to look at just ownership wise, right now the popular pitchers on this slate are going to be Lucas Giolito, $7,800, Aaron Ashby, and Blake Snell, and a little bit of Chris Bassett. That's what it's looking like early this morning. Giolito's running away with it 44%, and then we got Ashby, Snell, and a little bit of Bassett. I'm not sure. I don't mess with Blake Snell anymore in cash. I like Chris Bassett. Giolito is kind of having a crazy season. So let's kind of go through this. Who do we like? Honestly, I like Charlie Morton. Well, let's just do Giolito first. But Giolito's the looks like he's going to be the chalk. So he comes in as a favorite. Now he's going. Here it is. He's going against the Tigers. So Tigers are a team we've been picking on all year. He's got a high ERA of 4.90 Giolito, but look at his xFIP. It's only 3.69. So that does show there's some bad luck built in there. His BABIP's 80 points higher than his career average, and he's facing the Tigers, who have a really low WOBA, and they strike out a lot, obviously. I mean, the team is waking up, but still, overall on a season, the Tigers' offense sucks. So Giolito is definitely going to be a popular play. If his ownership goes up even more, you probably have to roll him. But now, as I'm talking, I'm looking at his last 5 starts. His last 5 starts, he got 7.33 ERA. They're hitting him a little bit hard, but once again, it's the Tigers. So what's keeping his ownership up higher is that salary of 7.8. So 7.8%. Yeah, I can see why Giolito right now is going to be the popular play in cash. This could definitely be one of them slates where you can zig, where everybody's zagging. You do not have to use Giolito, but he probably is the way to go. Especially that last game. The last game, I think it was against the Giants, I think it was. And he went pretty well. Let me call it up. Yeah, it was the Giants. So he went 6 innings, only gave up a run, and did strike out 7. So he does have a little bit of momentum coming in here, going against the Tigers. So let's call Giolito our cash SP1, even though I don't 100% love it. Now SP2. We got a bunch of good pitchers going here tonight. So we got nasty Nestor Cortez, but I'm not going to consider him cash because of he's in Fenway, Boston. Zach Wheeler, and we saw last night with Spencer Strider. Did Spencer Strider hell of a game last night, right? Especially toward the end. I mean, toward the end before all the rain issues came. A lot of people pulled off Strider. He was only 50% owned. Great game by him. Tied a major league record, striking out 9 batters, first time batters, whatever. So Cortez GDP. You got Zach Wheeler on the slate. You got Charlie Morton. You got Chris Bassett, who I really like. You got Adam Wainwright, who's definitely a decent major league pitcher. Zach Gallen. And you've got some John Gray there. So who's going to be our SP2 cash? Right now, I think I'm looking at Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton or Tyler Anderson. So Morton, over the last 4 weeks, he's been great. His K per 9 is 13. 2.09 Sierra, which is elite numbers, and he's a big favorite against the Nationals. Now the Nationals are not exactly. I mean, I think the Nationals they're not the worst offense, but I'm bringing in Charlie Morton, and the thing is, Charlie Morton's ownership right now is down to like 11%. So I like Morton. If you don't like Morton, I would think the other way you go is 2 other guys, either Chris Bassett or Tyler Anderson. Now, Tyler Anderson is facing the Cubs. The Cubs have been tough against lefty pitching, though. But they also strike out a lot against lefties. So you got give and take a little bit. So striking out like at 26%, but they're hitting a little bit. Now Anderson's not a strikeout guy. We have seen a couple games where he's done decent, but he also doesn't run too many issues either. Doesn't walk batters, and he's actually pulling his last couple starts. He's actually done pretty well. Well, 23 DK against San Diego. Take away the Coors game. So, well, he's up and down. So 23 DK, the Coors game take away. Cincinnati got beat up. Great game against the Angels. Great game against the Mets. So he's been decent. And you look at the Cubs, strike out a lot. But if you want to go with Tyler Anderson, I think Chris Bassett may be the way to go, and especially if we're going to get Chris Bassett lower owned against the Marlins. He's last 5 starts, though. He's got a couple wins, ERA of 4.11, though. His K rate is high, 28%. So it's not a shoe-in. 3.91 ERA in a season, 1.14 whip, which wasn't bad. So one thing about the slate I guess we're going to see is it's not going to be really, really chalky with pitching. You're probably going to see a lot of Giolito, but this SP2, people are going to go a lot of different places. So I like Bass against the Marlins. We like Anderson against the Cubs. Aaron Ashby, that's the other guy that's going to be popular. To me, Aaron Ashby's a GPP play. Lately, he's been bounced around a little bit. But anybody that's watched Aaron Ashby pitch knows that the kid's got stuff. The kid's got electric stuff. So I just can't see the kid being a cash start. I really don't, especially when I'm seeing that kind of ownership. Yeah, to me, he's only GPP. He's going up against Pittsburgh, though. Now they're striking out right now almost 30% to lefties. Low WOBA, low ISO. So the numbers are there for Ashby. But looking at his last 5 starts, man, he's given a 4.45, 4.54 FIP, 6.75 ERA, but he's got the Ks to 1%. To me, that's a GPP pitcher. So let everybody else run with Aaron Ashby. And it's not like you're getting Aaron Ashby at much of a discount here either. At 7.4, same price as most of the other pitchers. So I'm looking at Charlie Morton, maybe a little Zach Wheeler. And Wheeler, man, Wheeler is always consistent, and nobody plays Zach Wheeler. Every slate Zach Wheeler is on, he seems to fly right on the radar, and he's not like a sexy name. Nobody wants to play him, but at the end of the day, Zach Wheeler is one of the top scoring guys every slate he pitches, it seems like. I'd have no problem going to Zach Wheeler. Anybody else? I think Tyler Wells is a decent GPP play, but he's so cheap going up against the Angels. Now, anybody that's watched Tyler Wells lately has seen this kid has actually pitched really well. And once again, because of the name, it's the Orioles, he's going to come very low owned. That last game against the Twins in Minnesota, he shut them down, 27 DK points. So he's only given up 3 runs over his past 4 starts. 3.09 ERA in a season, a 1.00 whip, which is elite. Strikeouts aren't there, 5.6 per 9. But I hear his status. Fastball spin rate ranks 94th percentile. It's kind of weird. So Angels have not been doing much against righties pitching, especially 28th WOBA, 18th in ISO against righties. I like Tyler Wells here a lot, 6,300. I'm not saying I'm using cash, but I will have Tyler Wells in some lines with GBPs. We can't expect another 28 DK points from Tyler Wells like we got against the Twins, but we can expect 20 DK. Like Seattle 18, Washington 19, Toronto 19, the Royals 15. Wells has been pitching well, especially at that price. So I like him as a GPP play. There's a lot of pitchers here. Zach Gallen. I definitely like Zach Gallen. I've always been a Gallen guy. The Rockies. He's going against the Rockies. Gallen's been throwing pretty good again lately. But GBP only. You got Jose Urquidy on his slate against Oakland. We pick on Oakland. So great matchup for him. And now his last 3 starts, let me see, Urquiddy's only given up 1, 2, 3 runs. That's over 19 innings. So add Urquidy to the list. Blake Snell to me is always a GBP pitcher because he always give up that 1 inning where he gets banged up. But he's cheap, 7,900. So we have a lot of decent prices on pitchers tonight. Also, he's coming off a good start, though. It's 12 strikeouts. It's the Dodgers. But he's so volatile. So I know he just threw a whole bunch of names at you, and they could go so many different ways. But I guess to kind of sum up the pitching here, I'm looking at ownership, and I guess with ownership too, Giolito is going to be very high owned. I'm looking at over 40% right now for cash. So the question is, where do we go SB2? Ownership's telling us Ashby, Snell, maybe Bassett. I don't mind Bassett. I like Charlie Morton, though, against Washington. But once again, I mentioned Truist Park, Hitters Park. One other name we didn't mention, there's so many of them, is John Gray, who's been pitching well. Gray's facing, Minnesota. So Minnesota can be tough. But I do like his upside. 26% K rate for John Gray. What's John Gray's price? Pablo Lopez is pitching tonight too. There's a lot of like mid-tier, not elite, but good pitchers here. So Gray's 8,000. His last 5 starts, though, it said a 30% K rate, 10K per 9, 2.91 FIP, 1.97 ERA. I just see Ashby's K prop just got bumped up too, which is, I guess, good news for DFS players. I don't know, man. To me, Ashby is still volatile. Aaron Ashby and is still, to me, a GBP play, but a decent price 7.4. So I'm looking at right now early at a Giolito, maybe Charlie Morton or Zach Wheeler as my SP2. I got to look into Aaron Ashby more. I'm afraid to use Ashby or Snell in cash. But Ashby's catching ownership. He's catching some ownership here, so I'm not going to talk anybody off it. And we mentioned John Gray. Urquidy is going to be very low owned. So is Tyler, and maybe even use Tyler Anderson. Anderson's going to be really low owned, but he's 9,400. It's a lot of money for Tyler Anderson. And I like Tyler Wells way down there, 6'3". Tarek Skubal, I might stack against Skubal. I'm a Skubal guy, but he's just not right. And I think we stack against Skubal until he turns it around here. And we know he's got talent. He will turn around, but he's really struggling right now. Anybody else way down low? Ross Stripling, maybe a 5'8", not a bad point per dollar. But that's really it. I'm not messing with Reed Detmers. So it's a loaded starting pitcher slate, but no must-haves. Not even Giolito. There's not one person I think you have to have in your lineup. Maybe it's the type of lineup for cash. You build your offense first, and then turn around and come back to pitcher. Because all these guys can be in cash. You don't have to have Giolito. You don't have to have Ashby. You certainly don't have to have Charlie Martin or Zach Gallen, Zach Wheeler, any of these guys. So maybe build our batters first and go back to pitching. It's the way I've been doing a lot lately. Okay, so let's go around to the batters now. Starting at catcher once again. So this isn't a core slate, which is cool. So we don't have to worry about that. But we're going to probably see once again some popular Braves and stuff. Right now, catcher Carson Kelly's been hitting the ball. He's one of my guys, and he's been hitting the ball really well. Finally, he hit a home run last night. So right now, Will Smith's going to be the popular play at catcher. He always is in the morning, 16% or so. He's going up against righty. Smith's so definitely a reverse splits hitter, 250 ISO against righties. Wilson Contreras is also in a good spot against Tyler Anderson. As Wilson can hit righties, 276 ISO. But Contreras just doesn't seem to be hitting like he was earlier in the season. So it looks like tonight maybe a nice night to drop down at catcher and go value, wait for lineups to come out and see if there's any catcher in a decent spot that's making like a spot start or something. You can catch him. Trevino kid for the Yankees, I have no problem using him. He's got some pop to him, but I'm probably going to, I'm right here. Carson Kelly is still at 2-2. So his price still has not gone up. So I'm just going to roll Carson Kelly again, as long as he's starting. We all know Kelly's been a decent hitter, and now he's starting to show it again. 290 over the last week with 2 homers, 4 ribbies. If you don't want to use Kelly, if not Trevino Higashioka, Gabe Marino, he's down at 2-3 against Kirby. No, we didn't even mention George Kirby. It's against Toronto, but Kirby's been, Kirby's a decent, he's a stud, young kid, New York kid. But just roll out Carson Kelly again in cash if you're starting. If not, then just go one of these other guys, somebody that pops in the lineup and maybe hitting like, 6th or 7th or something. You might catch like a Yermain Mercedes hitting like 5th for the Giants if he plays Joey. I think Joey Bart is back up, right? If I remember right. So that's catcher. We're not gonna spend any time on catcher. Catcher stinks in fantasy. First base right now. You want to go straight numbers, cash, popularity wise. There's really nobody jumping out. Got a bunch of decent ones. Olsen, Rizzo, Christian Walker, Freddie Freeman. They're always gonna be your top guys. BVP. Did I miss any BVP catchers? Travis Denaud hits Eric Fetty. Just remember that. So BVP at first base. We got some. Rice Hoskins hits Wainwright, 6 for 10 lifetime. Abreu hits Skubal, 6 for 13. Jose Abreu owes me from last night. He did get a hit to extend his hit streak, but he didn't do much else. Right now, Abreu's on a 12-game hit streak, slashing 438, 471, 625. So Jose Abreu is hot and did hit a home run. It did get a hit last night, but that was it. Miggy's on a 13-game hit streak, first baseman. So Miggy and Abreu are the top 2 guys, the top 2 hit streak guys right now for current hit streaks. So Abreu hit Skubal, 6 for 13. So I have no problem going right back to Abreu tonight, especially the way he's been hitting the ball. Advanced metrics wise, it's all about Jose Abreu against Skubal. 286 ISO, 409 WOBA against the lefty, just like last. He was just set up just like he was last night. I definitely like Abreu tonight at 4,700. Derek Hall, the kid for Philadelphia, went up against Wainwright, lefty righty. Hall's hit a home run yesterday, right? He's got 452 ISO, 419 WOBA in that split. Rowdy Tellez, $5,100. Tellez doesn't play against Brubaker, definitely. Ruff gets the platoon against Snell. Matt Olson definitely gets a lefty. Matt Olson's only 4,300 against Eric Fetty. So maybe Olson may be one of your top plays, where Freddie Freeman's at $1,100 more. So many ways you can go at first base tonight. I like Abreu again, honestly. Josh Bell against Morton. Goalies against Wheeler, so that's a tough matchup. I think, I like actually Jose Abreu. I like Rowdy Tellez in first base. Ohtani against Wells, even though I do like Wells as a sneaky play. Derek Hall is your cheapo. He's hitting 320 over the last week with 2 homers, 4 ribbies. We said Hoskins hits Wainwright. And then Matt Olson, lefty righty. Value plays is all about Derek Hall. Miggy's only 2,400. Remember, he's on a 12-game hit streak, 13-game hit streak. Slashing 383, 426, 383 in that span. So you can always play Miggy at $2,400. He's gonna get you 6 points, 9 points, maybe. He's not gonna win your GVP, but at $2,400, that's all you're asking for. So he didn't play last night, so his streak's still there. The last 4 games, 9 points, 17 points, 3-9. So he's not going to usually get you double digits, but at 2,400, what more are you going to ask for, right? Probably overall, Rice Hoskins is really flying on the radar at $5,500. Had a good game again yesterday. Besides the one game I played him this week, but a good game yesterday with a double. He's got 8 extra base hits against righty pitching in his last 20 games. Another value is Michael Chavis. Michael Chavis has been crushing left-handed pitching. I hate that Chavis and Vogelback are both first base eligible only, but Chavis has been crushing left-handed pitching. And he already has a home run off Ashby. So Michael Chavis is in play as a sneaky call, I think, at first base. Probably I would consider him GPP only, but don't sleep on Chavis tonight. So I think overall, now looking at everything, I think overall the play may be Matt Olson, because he's at 4,300. High implied, Eric Fetty. I mean, Olson isn't hitting like the power like he has in his career, but he still has an OPS in 800s. Walks, and we know he matches righties. He's got a career 879 OPS, 137 WRC plus against righties. So I like Matt Olson, $4,300 if I'm not going to play Abreu. Because Abreu owes me. Okay, second base. One good thing I like so far is you're not seeing too much ownership, anybody running away with ownership. Ketel Marte is going to be popular at second. So is Gleyber. So is DJ. Buddy Kennedy. He's your punt play. So I like probably Ketel Marte is probably my favorite second baseman, but second baseman is weak tonight. So maybe we go really cheap. But you get Marte at 4,300, DK, 3,100, and FanDuel. Good spot. He's facing Austin Gomber. Good spot then. He's been better against lefties in his career. 877 OPS against lefties, 130 WRC plus. Good numbers. Doesn't strike out. Marte, 4,300, good spot. DJ LeMahieu on FanDuel. He's only 3,300. He's almost a value at FanDuel. He just doesn't hit for power anymore. BBP wise, Witt hits Savali. Otuve hits Blackman. 6 for 11. Man, there's way too many games here. Wait, that's not even on slate. Altuve's so damn expensive though. He hits Blackman. I think Marte's the top play. I'm not going to talk anybody off Altuve at 5.5 because I'm saying Blackburn. I like Ketel Marte. And if you want to be a little bit different, you can go down to like a guy like Buddy Kennedy, who I think is. I know he had a double last night. He's been hitting the ball. Trevor Story against Cortez, GVP only, because I respect Cortez. Gleyber, 140 ISO. No, that was last season. But Gleyber is definitely in play. 161 ISO, 321 WOBA. Andres Jimenez is always in play against Brady Singer. There's so many games I didn't even mention out these teams. Polanco's in play. So, but Ketel Marte is my top play. If not Marte, I'm going to drop all the way down to a guy like a Buddy Kennedy. If Arcia is in the lineup, I'll play Orlando Arcia at 3,400. I definitely can see that. I don't like these 14 gamers. But there's nothing wrong with using Buddy Kennedy. Said double last night. The game before that, he had a hit. He's been hitting. He's been getting hits. A couple of ribbies a couple of days ago against the Giants. So he's my top punt. Second base isn't that good. You can go scoop against Giolito if you don't believe in Giolito, definitely. All right, but let's run Ketel Marte. I think is the top guy at second. Anybody? Okay, let's go to third base. Third base, BBP wise, nothing. Well, J Ram hit Singer, 4 for 8. And Austin Riley's always hit Fetty. Austin Riley let me down last night, so Riley owes me tonight by far. He did at least a hit though, right? He didn't like have any bombs or anything. Right now, Josh Donaldson is the chalkier play. The Grand Slam last night still under 4K. J Ram's only 5.2 though. So either J Ram or Austin Riley. When you got J Ram and Austin Riley only at 5.2, they replace Justin Turner's really hitting the ball 40. He's only 4,100 against the Cubbies. But Donaldson's the popular play. He's getting hot though too. He's got homers in 2 straight games now. Remember, he hits well at Fenway. So that was his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8th career home run at Fenway. So, and he's hitting 300 at Fenway coming into the series. So I think if you want to be if you need the money, you go to Donaldson. If not, Austin Riley or J Ram. I mean, Austin Riley's to me, I think he's been the best hitter on the Braves this season. 886 OPS, 378 WOBA, 21 home runs. He's going to bust all his power marks of his career. Does strike out a bit, but I'll deal with that. So I'll take at this point. I'd probably take Riley over J Ram against Fetty, but J Ram's right there too. I mean, play either of them. And Josh Donaldson is your popular value play, really. Shortstop now. Of course, Trey's always the one running up the ownership, and Trey just doesn't have the season that we all thought he was going to have. So Dansby has kind of taken over the crown. Dansby, Trey Turner, and IKF, Isaiah Kiner Felipe. You used IKF last night. They're your 3 chalky type plays at shortstop. We got BBPs for shortstop. Timmy Anderson, and yeah, we talked about this last time against Skubal. 7 for 13 against Tarek Skubal. Timmy Anderson, my man. So Anderson, Javi Baez hits Giolito. Couple home runs, 5 for 13. So Baez and Anderson are your BBP guys. I think it's a coin flip between Dansby and Timmy Anderson, I think. Because I'm not messing with Trey. You got Dansby at second. The guy's been stealing bases. 847 OPS. That's a great OPS in the season. 14 home runs. Yeah, I do like him better than Timmy Anderson. But Timmy Anderson would be my number 2 guy. But even though he's got a good history against Skubal, I still respect Skubal. Skubal's got some good strikeout stuff. But it's Timmy Anderson against a lefty. So that makes a big difference to me, too. We know Timmy Anderson's crushed lefties in his career. This season, 464 WOBA, 432 batting average. So Timmy Anderson or Dansby Swanson at shortstop. I'm probably not paying down on shortstop. I'm going to have one of those 2 guys. If I do, it'll probably be like an IKF. Isaiah Kiner Felipe, maybe it gets a stolen base or something. But Timmy Anderson or Dansby, both my 2 favorite players actually right now. If you have to go down beside IKF, you got Andrus, you got El Hero Castro, CJ Abrams against Sam Long. I guess CJ Abrams is in play. He's eventually going to, the kid's a really talented kid. He's a big prospect, so he's eventually going to show us something. He's been filling in for Kim, who's been resting. Louis Garcia against Morton, 3,400. Louis Adames against Brubaker is going to get a little bit of love. O'Neal Cruz against Ashley, but it's lefty, so you might even see Cruz in the lineup. Timmy Anderson or Swanson? Swanson's probably a smart play, but Timmy Anderson is going to be the high. It's going to be the high ceiling volatile play. Dansby Swanson's having a hell of a year, as long as he keeps it up now. Okay, now we're all the way to the outfield, and these slates are just too many games. It's hard to pinpoint people. Outfield right now, early in the morning, ownership is looking like Acuna is popular. Acuna has not come through for me. Alec Thomas is looking like he's going to catch some love. He's only $2,800. against Colorado. Marte, Stanton, Peralta. So all the D-backs, all the snakes. So I really can't do much with that. So who are we looking at as, let's find a couple of decent value plays. Matt Carpenter's outfield eligible now, hits righties. I'll keep playing Michael Harris a second, especially against Fetty, lefty righty. He had a blast last night at center field, like 439. So I like Michael Harris, 3,300. Who else? Darren Ruff, but you got to worry about him getting pulled. Swinski's doing nothing. He had a bad doubleheader yesterday. Aaron Hicks, only $2,500. He's got back-to-back home run games now, right? I think so. Yeah, he had Grand Slam, and then he had another home run against Boston. So Aaron Hicks is hot against Seabold. Yepez plays against Wheeler. You're gonna be able to get one big stud in the outfield, and you just pick whether it's going to be Acuna, Judge. I think Judge may be in the best spot of all of them. Jordan Alvarez just keeps on hitting now. Maybe Alvarez or Judge. Mookie Betts is still only 5.3. So if you can get Betts and then high price guy, and then like a 2K guy, you're doing good. Jordan's one of the guys just keep on playing. It's the way he's hitting home runs. He's on pace for MVP right now in AL. Him or Judge. Now, if you're going to go really low, then we have to go with a guy. Raymond Tapia is still 2K. Alec Thomas, who's going up against now Chad Kuhl, who's a gas cam, I think, who's a righty. So Thomas is in play at 2.8. He'll be batting like probably second. Jake Myers at only 2K. Myers got some pop. I like Myers. Who else? I mentioned Aaron Hicks. I mean, Joey Gallo's still down there. Riley Green was against Giolito, but Michael Taylor just keeps on doing well. So right now, I think it's going to be like Alec Thomas, Jake Myers are my favorite values. I mean, there's plenty more. There's all kinds of them, but Anthony Santander going up against Reed Detmers. I think he's a decent play. David Peralta, but Peralta's going to be popular. Cool is pitching bad on the road now. And Michael Harris Jr., and I didn't mention Eddie Rosario. He's still too cheap. And they're supposed to get a lot of runs. So Braves are due after last night. So I was expecting Braves explosion. So either Eddie Rosario or Michael Harris the second. All right, that's pretty much it. Stacks. My top stacks can be, I really like the Yankees tonight against Seabold. Seabold's only making, I think, his third career start maybe. And he really struggled. I saw him in the Cubs game. He struggled. Who else did he pitch against? Blue Jays, I think. So he struggled. So I like the Yankees. Dodgers against Keegan Thompson. You mentioned the Braves, like the Braves against Fetty. And then another stack I like, I think they owe me, is the White Sox against Skubal. I think Skubal is really struggling right now over his last 4 or 5 starts. He's given up a lot of home runs, a lot of control issues, and now the White Sox are. If you look at this White Sox lineup, they're right now, and then they're volatile and they're very tilting like the Twins are, but they're cheap right now. So you can. Abreu's under 5K. Robert's only 5. Eloy's still only 4-1. He's back. You can use a wraparound with Sergio Isabella. Timmy Anderson, we all talked about against the lefty. I do like the White Sox against Skubal. I can't believe I'm saying it, I like Skubal, but I do like the White Sox. So Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, White Sox. And Arizona is going to be popular, I think. Peralta, Marte, Barshow, Alec Thomas going up against Chad Kuhl. And one more, since this is 14 games, I think may come across is, how about let's take a shot in the Orioles against Detmers. You'd be looking at guys like Detmers is a lefty, So you're looking at guys like, even though Cedric Mullins, I'll play Mullins against the lefty, of course, Mancini, Mountcastle, Santander, Austin Hayes, definitely. Sports 7, I like Austin Hayes, guys like that. Tyler Nevin's in the lineup. I'm a Tyler Nevin guy. Eventually he'll start hitting. So, yeah, Orioles. All right, so it's kind of my home run call. It's tough going solo anymore. I like to have a guess. Home run call of the day is going to be, trying to find somebody different. Either Rowdy Tellez or Michael Harris. Michael Harris II is going to hit his back-to-back home run second game row. Michael Harris Jr. or Rowdy Tellez. All right, there's no questions. That's it. Friday night, huge slate. So I wouldn't go crazy on the slate. Huge slates are tough. Then you got a weekend. We'll have a split slate tomorrow, and always have a good Sunday afternoon slate. It's July. Baseball doesn't get any better than this. All right, guys. Good luck. We're out of here.